All right, we are here with our daily live Q&A session, and I would like to welcome everybody. My name is Amber. I'm at the Threshold Homes page, blog, Instagram handle. I am a real estate agent, renovator, designer, flipper for more than 150 properties over the last 12 or so years. So I get questions sent to me all the time from people who are at various stages of house flipping and getting their businesses up and running. Maybe they've done a couple projects. Maybe they want to get started and they're not sure exactly how. So the content that I share with you guys is designed to help people no matter where you're at. And hopefully it does that. So right before I hopped on here, I was reading a post that somebody had put up. They were on one of the big real estate investing education blogs. If you've ever heard of BiggerPockets, it's a great resource. There's a ton of information out there. I used to get information from there when I was starting out, more so just kind of general information. But if you're looking for content, they've got some great forums, great questions. I do give it a word of caution. There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions, so sometimes that can be overwhelming. So depending on where you're at, just know that that can exist too. But there was a post from somebody who was getting started. They had just bought their first flip, and it was going really poorly. The project from beginning to end was just a mess, and they were asking for guidance and for help. And so when I went back, sorry, I'm adjusting another camera here. When I went back and I was looking at everything that they had posted about the purchase price, how they had gotten the property, how they had gotten their bids, what their experience was in getting the bids, it all painted this really interesting picture for me that there was a lot of red flags along the way. So the first red flag was actually how they bought the property. So it got me thinking about the three people who you would think know how to flip a house and would be able to give you a lot of valuable information, but who maybe don't know what they need to know. So I thought I would talk a little bit about that today, and it lines up with somebody asking me a question about wholesaling as well. So I have never bought a house from a wholesaler in all the years that I have been doing this. And I started in 2007. And the number one reason why I've never bought a house from a wholesaler is the numbers for that project never have worked out. And it didn't matter if it was back when the market was less desirable back in 2010, 2011, or if it's now. I go look at properties all the time. I get probably 20 or 30 emails a week from different wholesalers. And the bottom line is that what they're asking for with those properties from a price standpoint does not line up with the amount of renovations that need to be done in order for it to be a profitable product. And so they don't, they might have different parameters for what they're using for renovation estimates for repairs. I think that's the number one thing. A lot of wholesalers never, ever rehab a project. They don't ever get bids from contractors. They have no idea what it costs to replace an electrical panel if it's not, safe for the homeowners to buy, right? So they have no idea what it costs to finish a lower level or to re-roof a house or to re-side a house or to add a garage. They might have ballpark estimates, but I don't even know how accurate those are. So that's the number one reason I haven't bought a house from a wholesaler, is because the numbers don't line up. And you would think that a wholesaler being in a real estate investing capacity would know that. But the reality is they're not, because they don't do things the same way that a flipper does. So people you may think know how to flip a house who really don't, number one is going to be your wholesaler, okay? Number two is going to be contractors. And that might seem kind of strange, but if you think about it, a contractor's specialty is construction. A contractor's specialty is not doing the job for the least amount possible. Their job is not to make sure that the margin that you get on the house when you sell it is substantial. It works for you. Their job is to come in and give you an estimate based off the repairs that you're asking them to do, which is based off your number for resale. So contractors are a key part of this process, but by no means are they people who are typically looking to make sure the flip is profitable. That's your job. That is your role as the owner, as the flipper, okay? You might every once in a while, and this is so rare, You might come across a flipper who also is a general contractor, and maybe if they don't have anything going on, they'll GC a project. But again, I would not necessarily say that that's going to be somebody who can do a project for the type of margins you're going to need to do it for. So just kind of be aware of that, right? And if you have a good contractor who does things reasonably priced, they're going to do that no matter what the project is, even if it's something that's not necessarily a flip. Maybe it's a rental property. So something to keep in mind. Okay, the third person that you might think knows about flipping houses, but might not, and this kills me to say it because I know, it's realtors, right? So here's the deal. If you are a realtor and you are a traditional realtor, the reality is, there's a lot of reels in there. The reality is you make your money when there's a transaction. That's how an agent gets paid. If there's a closing, right? So if there's a property that sells or is listed, that's how an agent gets paid. Agents don't necessarily know about flipping. And the one part of flipping that agents can really be challenged by is values, especially when it comes to a resale value. Because oftentimes when you're flipping a house, you're gonna go into neighborhoods where there's a house that's priced lower than everything else, but there might not be any resales of properties that have been renovated. They might be kind of just your standard, homeowner properties that maybe have had a kitchen updated in the last 15 or 20 years, but they wouldn't be a significant addition of square footage, a top to bottom renovation. So for agents, that can be really challenging if they don't have any experience. The other thing for agents that can be challenging is offering, right? So when I'm offering on properties for investors, which would be anybody that I'm working with who's looking to buy a flip, I'm looking at putting in an offer in that's good for my client, not necessarily one that I think the seller will accept. Because a lot of times I'm writing offers that are at a lower price than what the listing is. And sometimes agents who are more of a traditional mindset don't want to do that, but that doesn't bother me. I don't send it with just no notice and say like, here's a really crappy offer for $50,000 less than you're asking. Hope you take it, right? I'm not doing that, but I'm having a conversation with them ahead of time, kind of trying to gauge the level of motivation for the seller. And I'll ask beforehand, would your client even be considering an offer if it wasn't at this price point or within 10% right now? And if the answer is no, I'm not going to write the offer. But the bottom line is you can't be concerned about being embarrassed by your offer. I heard somebody say once, a long time ago, if you're not embarrassed by the offer you're submitting, you're writing it too high. And that's not for like a traditional house, but it's for a potential house that's a flip, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. So while all three of these people are incredibly valuable and can be valuable in your business, you don't necessarily need a wholesaler. You do need a contractor, you need a realtor, but know that not everybody who is in this professional capacity is going to be of the mindset that you need to be successful with your business. So that's why you having as much knowledge as you can accumulate and comfort and kind of knowledge about things in general will help you. And the number one way you can get that is by doing research online and also talking with other people in your area who are doing it. So I hope this was helpful today. If you guys have any questions, make sure you're sending those below. We do still have, I think we have about another 10 sessions here for the Q&As, and the questions are coming in definitely on a daily basis over on Instagram. So either there or here, make sure you're sending those to me so we can get them answered and get you guys all the information and help that you need to get your flipping business up and running. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.